Hey guys, Reuben Williams here, founder of SportsGrad. Back in the day, I landed a job at Cricket Australia on the Monday after my final university exam. And then 3 years later, when COVID hit and my job was made redundant, rather than looking for work for months on end, I was headhunted into a role that doubled my salary. I'm not telling you this to brag, I'm telling you because there is a method to it. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. For example, Lucas Viana, one of our members, called the SportsGrad method a cheat code, and another member, Sasha Brahim, she called it magic. And honestly, I'll take that. Now, most people spend years trying to break into sport and never figure out why it is not working. And so the reason that this podcast exists is to change that. Every week, I'm going to share some real moments from real coaching calls that are unfiltered, unscripted, so you get a taste for the kind of work that has helped people land over 800 roles in sport and counting. If you're ready to stop guessing and start moving in the right direction and go after the career that you've always wanted, apply for the SportsGrad Method program at sportsgrad.com.au. Now, let's get into it. This is less around like time management and more around like, what option is like kind of worth pursuing. But this is a tool called the Next Move Matrix, which helped me a lot when I was trying to figure out what do I want to do with a couple of different things. And if you've got multiple options that you're trying to decide between, it's useful. And even if you're just trying to work out, if any opportunity is useful as well, compared to how you might spend your time otherwise, it's a good way to like break it down. But this here is kind of where it stemmed from. So back in July, August 2020, had a bunch of different opportunities kind of come my way, and I wanted to like really get analytical, which was the best path to take. And so doesn't really matter what axis you put it on, but what I did here is I laid out all the different options that I had. So I had SportsGrad, Deacon was talking about me, guest lecturing. There was a role for female engagement officer at Cricket Australia I was thinking about going for. PTI Digital was the sports marketing agency that approached me. And there was another commercial development role that came across me as well. And so I started thinking about like what is the best path to take, and to determine that, I needed to think about what am I actually looking for out of this way I can spend my time. And I say it as way I can spend my time to help you guys conceptualize it, because you guys have the option between hardcore job hunting or jumping into any old job, and you've got to determine what is best for you depending on the end goal. And so what I broke down from this is like, all right, what am I looking for from each of these? And I think I had money, domestic travel, international travel, ability to work remotely, time flexibility, mentors I can work off or learn from, professional development opportunities, autonomy, connections to industry, connection to purpose, and daily activities. I'm actually going to enjoy what I'm doing every single day. And I just went through and gave each opportunity under each element that I was looking for a score of 1 to 10. And by the end of it, I could see, on paper, what was the best opportunity. And PTI Digital at this point in time came out as a higher score with, SportsGrad, not too far behind it. And really that was because, SportsGrad would have won if I like had a mentor to learn from, but, it's just me doing it. So I had to learn for myself. And at that point, I wasn't making any money. And so that's when I started to look at like, how can I have my cake and eat it too? So what would it take for, these two squares to be more in the 7 to 9 range to actually give me the full suite of things that I'm looking for? And, also the reverse, like with PTI Digital, like, what would it take for PTI Digital to be fully flexible or have a full connection to purpose or, enjoy the daily activities? Probably it would have to be an entirely different company and different set of tasks for the connection to purpose and whatnot to ladder up. But that's the way I went about thinking about this. And the other thing I like went through as well, and first time I did this was with my longtime mentor, Wayne Oswald, and he basically sat me down and said, Reuben, how do you spend your time? And I was like, well, I've got footy training, I've got cricket, I've got uni, I've got casual job, I've got my internship, I sleep, I eat, and I socialize. Um, that's pretty much it. And then you might, if you chuck in like broadly job hunting activities and say, call that, networking, etc., there's that as well. And Wayne would be like, all right, cool. So you got 168 hours in the week. How are you spending them? And I'd be like, all right, well, footy is, 4 hours during the week and, probably 6 hours on a Saturday. So that's 10. Cricket, even though season I wasn't playing two at a time, let's say this is a winter season, I was training for cricket, 2 hours a week at this point in time. I was going to uni for, God, I probably only had 12 contact hours, studying for 8. So let's call it 20, casual job, maybe 10 hours a week, internship, 6, sleeping for, um, God, probably about 42 hours a week or so. Eating, let's call it 14, socializing, who knows. There's probably job hunting about 10 hours a week as well. So when he laid this out for me, and maybe I was socializing like another 12 hours, he got me to calculate it up, and I was like, shit, okay, this is how much I know I'm doing stuff for. There's 42 hours in the week that I've got no idea what I'm doing. Call it faffing around. and and that really got me to like sit up and be like, okay, where am I spending most of my time, and where could I allocate more of it? And this like really allowed me to like see like where I was spending the majority of my time. Um, Again, we love color coding things at SportsGrad with the professional back end and whatnot, and so this made it very obvious to me that like, okay, cool. The thing that's most important to me is like this job hunting stuff, but it's only taken up 7.9% of my week. Something's going to change. um, so this like allowed me to get really granular on like where my time was going and how I could reallocate it. Whereas now, like, I don't play footy, don't really play cricket. Let's say uni is sports grad. Um, and that's, you know, more or less an 80-hour a week thing. Casual job is no longer casual. Internship has gone full time. That's probably still the same. This is probably down to 7. Socialize is probably still at 12, and narrow that. So now when I look at my time and I can see it in clear daylight, I'm like, all right, this chart is spitting back to me a representation of time that's aligned with the goals that I have. Obviously, that's easier to say now, given what we're doing, but really, that's a question that you want to be asking yourself. Does the bar chart mirror your goals? Sorry, does the pie chart mirror your goals? If not, think about how you can make some changes to your week and your time. All right, guys, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. If you want to learn directly from me and other SportsGrad coaches who are working directly in the industry, then jump into the SportsGrad Method program. Once you're inside, you'll also get access to the entire SportsGrad Method curriculum that comes with a 90-day roadmap, so you know exactly what to do next. There is a step-by-step system to this. You do not have to think of what to do. We have thought of it all for you. Plus, you can tap into the SportsGrad network and get introductions to the people that might be hard to meet for you at the moment. Plus, you'll be surrounded by the wonderful SportsGrad community who are all helping each other get closer to their goals as well. So the results speak for themselves. Have a look at the website if you want to check it all out, but we'd love to see you inside and receive your application. See ya.